everyone, it's Alyssa from Planet Alyssa, here with another video to help you improve your Etsy shop and increase the number of sales. This video is not specific to those of you that are selling vintage. It would also work for those of you who sell handcrafted items or supplies as well. When I was first starting out with my Etsy shop, I was interested in seeing what ways I could increase the number of sales I was receiving and increase the amount of traffic my shop received. I've tried some different ways over the years to promote the shop, used social media, used paid advertising, and seeing what worked best. What you may not be aware is that Etsy provides for free something called Shop Statistics, or Shop Stats for short, and this free tool is invaluable when you're trying to grow your Etsy shop and find out what works. Now, in order to use this, you would have to have an already established shop and have been selling and have a few items listed in your shop. But if you've been running your shop for, a few months or even a few weeks and have a decent number of items in the store, you can use Shop Stats to see what's working for your shop and look at the ways that you can increase the number of sales that you receive, which is what we all want to do, right? So we're going to take a look at my own Shop Stats page, and I'll explain a little bit about what you can see there and how you can use these tools. Okay, I'm in my Etsy Shop Stats page. Now at the top here you can adjust how long you want to view your stats for. I keep mine set to 7 days. I feel like that gives me a good snapshot of a week's worth of time. You can do it for as short as a single day, which isn't going to be really accurate because there could be a big difference in the type of shoppers and viewers you're going to get on a Saturday as opposed to a Tuesday. But you could also do 30 days, you could do a full year if you want to, or just look at specific dates. But 7 days will give you a good idea of who's looking at your shop, how many people are coming, and where they're coming from. So if we go down a little further here, the first thing it'll show you is the views. This is the total shop views. Underneath you'll see it's divided into the shop views as opposed to individual listing views. Obviously, I get a lot more individual listing views as opposed to total shop views. So for the past 7 days, 1,738 people have viewed either an item or my general shop page. Going over here, it'll show you favorites. So I've received 120 favorites. That means people have, hit the little heart button and said they like this item. 113 of them were liked items and 7 of them were shop favorites. Somebody just favorited my shop. Okay, and then going over here, it shows you the orders. That's something you probably already know. So in the past week, I've had 12 orders for a total of $152. Not a huge week, not a horrible week either. And then below this, we get a graph view. This graph is actually showing us the favorites. You can get a graph for the views or orders or revenue, whatever you want to see there. It's really just a visual representation of the information that's above. Now going down, this is where stuff actually gets more interesting, and you can use this information to grow your shop. So first of all, we're going to look over here at where it says traffic sources. And what this means is this is how people are coming to your shop. All those 1,700 views that I'm getting, this is where they're coming from. Not surprising, the biggest source of traffic is Etsy.com itself. People come to Etsy and then find my items one way or another via the site. Direct traffic are people going directly to my shop or to an item in my shop. And then we also have the Etsy app, which is new. They've just started tracking this in terms of statistics, and it's interesting to see that 244 people have found me via mobile devices. So that is the power of mobile. A lot of people are shopping on their phones or tablets. Next up is Google.com. So that's Google searches have brought people to my shop. They've searched for a particular item apparently, or general vintage items, and it's come up in the search results. And it's a smaller number, of course, 87 as opposed to the 812 people from Etsy, but it's still a decent amount of views coming from that. Below that is Google product listing ads. I don't actually pay for any ads, but Etsy does pay for ads collectively, and some of those come as Google product listing ads, which have brought 63 people to my shop, so that's nice. Thank you, Etsy. Then below that are some lesser sources. Pinterest. I don't use Pinterest. I don't even have a Pinterest account, but other people have apparently included my items in their Pinterest pins, whatever they're called. And then some foreign Google sites and some other search engines that people are apparently still using. Search yahoo.com and bing.com, probably accidentally. Now, in the next screen over here, traffic sources on Etsy. This is looking at those 812 views and figuring out how they got to my shop. And this is very interesting, I think. Search is the #1 way people are finding my shop or my items. 462 of my Etsy views are from people typing into the search box something they're looking for, and it brings them to my shop. It brings up my listings. But also very interesting is beneath this, the #2 way through Etsy people are finding my items is through my listings themselves, which means somebody probably searches for a particular item, clicks on it, is looking at that item, and then from that item actually clicks on another item that's in my shop. And almost the same number is my shop, is 78 people have come to my shop and then from there gone to another page within my shop. And then there are other sources. I don't even know what that means. Traffic from pages and features not specifically tracked for shop stats, so who knows. Favorites, another shop's listing, vintage browse sections, art browse sections. I guess I do have a few paintings and they show up in the art browse sections. The categories, Etsy's categories, and home and living browse sections. There are more pages to this, but obviously these views are only a handful here. So we're more interested in the stuff up top. Now, search, what that tells me is I have to, my keywords must be good if 462 people are finding my items via search. So that includes what's in your title, what's in your description, and the tags that you use, the 13 tags that Etsy allows you for each item. Make sure you use all those tags because, hey, who knows, one of them might be what brings someone to your shop and leads to a sale. There is some more information below this, the keywords that people are searching for. Now this is showing both on Etsy and Google, well, and the other search engines that people are using as well, but mostly it's going to be Etsy and Google here. Not provided is 17, so we don't know what they searched for on Google that brought them to my shop. Backgammon, that's the #1 known search term that's bringing people to my shop. I have done very well with backgammon sets. I don't even have any full-size ones at the moment. I think I have a few travel-sized backgammon sets in the shop. So 8 people in the past week have searched for the keyword backgammon and it's brought them to my shop or one of my listings. Bookends, I have quite a few, I don't know, I think maybe 3 sets of bookends listed in my store, and 6 people have searched for the term bookend and it has brought them to my shop. Desk blotter, I've always done well with office stuff on Etsy, and desk blotters are apparently a popular search term that's brought 5 people to my shop in the past week. Also, apparently the term Belgique, I don't even know what that is. I must have something in my shop that the brand name is Belgique. I'm not even sure what that means. Bowling ball bag, I don't even think I have any in the shop right now, but 4 people have searched for that term and it's brought them to my shop. It could be a listing that's already sold, which does happen. And jewelry box, Mel brand jewelry box. I do believe I have at least 1 in the shop right now, and so 4 people have searched for that term and it's brought them to my shop. And look down here is bookends with an S on it, which is different than bookends, so popular term. Mini erasers, people are looking for that apparently, and 3 people have search that, and the very specific Avon 12 Days of Christmas ornaments. People are obviously looking to complete their collection, and so 3 people have searched that term and seen what I have available. And if you go down a little further, it'll actually show you the pages that have been viewed in your shop so you can see what items are pretty popular this week. 82 is just the shop views. Then we have the specific item views. The most popular one is this set of 6 Literary Classics hardcover books, which actually sold. It sold not too long after I listed it, so. But 33 people did look at it between whenever I listed it and either when it sold or after it sold. Next up is this train case, which is still available if you're interested. 24 people have looked at that in the past week, and 24 people have looked at this tape recorder, and 22 people have looked at this radio. I know it's hard to kind of see the little thumbnail images here. Trucker caps, I did sell a few caps this week, not this one, but 19 people have viewed this one. Oh, and here we go. Here's a backgammon set. 17 people have viewed that. This is interesting because here in the top 10 items is something that I sold a couple years ago. It's a Weeble Wobble treehouse, but 17 people have looked at this sold item in the past week. Here's that desk blotter, vintage desk blotter. 15 people have looked at, and a Samsonite small travel suitcase. 14 people have looked at. And beneath that, it gives you an idea of the favorites. Not surprisingly, the most looked at item this week is also one of the top favorited items, these hardcover books. Got a lampshade, a shelf, fairy tale pinups, Peter Pan thing. If you look at the numbers here, they're all pretty close. The most is 4, the top 3 have 4, and then after that, 3s and 2s, so they're all pretty evenly spaced out in terms of favorites. No item is the clear winner in terms of favorites. No one's the clear favorite, I guess. If you were running ads on Etsy, this is where it would show you what you've spent, the impressions, the clicks, the favorites, the orders, and the revenue you've received as a result of your ads. I am not running ads. I have in the past, and I didn't really feel that it helped my shop as much as some other things. Because if you go back up here, what I saw was that one of my top traffic sources was my listings and obviously search, which comes through my listings. So in order to get more views on Etsy, which leads to more sales, I realized that the most efficient use of my time and my money was to actually list more items. So I increased the number of items I was listing, and as a result increased my sales and, increased my shop views. Okay, for me, the turning point with my Etsy shop was realizing that the number one way to increase the number of views that I was receiving, and in turn the amount of sales I received, was to list more items. That seemed to be the one way that really generated more views and more sales on a consistent basis, more so than paid advertising or using social media. That seemed to be the best use of my time. Now, it's not exactly free because you do pay to list items, but the more items you list, the more items you have for sale in your shop, the more people will be coming to your shop. And as we've seen, that when they look at one item, they're very likely to look at another item. So even if they come to your shop to look at your backgammon set, they may end up looking at, I don't know, a playing card set or a shelf or a vase or something, and buy something that they had no intention of buying originally. So that's why I don't spend any money presently on advertising for my Etsy shop, and it's also why I don't spend a lot of time using social media tools like Twitter and Facebook to promote my Etsy shop. I do have a Facebook page. I don't use it very much at all, honestly, and it's kind of like my personal Facebook page, but even less active. Okay, I hope this video gave you some tips on how to grow your shop and increase your sales. I will be back Friday with a new What I Sold video. I put those out every week, and I also try to put out these generally helpful videos for those of you that are running a vintage Etsy shop, or in this case, any sort of shop on Etsy. Okay guys, good luck, and let's sell lots of items. Okay, thanks for watching everyone.